Welcome Focus Admin users, and thanks for joining us for another Byte of Tech. Today, we're going to take a closer look at an attendance report within Focus. This report shows absences by course and by student, so let's get started. You're going to click on the bell icon to bring up the attendance menu. Under Reports, you're going to click Absences by Course and Student. Once the system loads, you'll notice you have the basic search screen. You also have two different tabs at the top of the screen, the By Student by Course and the By Course by Student. The two main differences between these tabs are going to be how your data is displayed when your reports ran. So do you want to see the student information first, which would be the student photo, student name, and student ID, or are you more curious about the course and its identifiers? Both reports show all the same information, it's just the layout that's going to be different. Before we get started, let me share a quick tip. Within Focus, if you're on a certain menu, you can go to the bottom of the screen and click the Help icon. This Help icon is going to give you more information about the screen that you're on. So since we're learning about absences by course and student, that's what the system pulls up. You can expand the carrots to get more information or learn about additional features. This is something that could be beneficial to not only admin staff, but also teachers and parents. So be sure to share. When conducting a search, you have the option to search multiple students if you have multiple student IDs or names, or you can click Search, which will search all students and all courses, as well as having more search options. For right now, we're just going to go ahead and click Search. You'll notice that all the courses for our test environment have shown up. You have the option to adjust the report time frame. It's going to default to that current school year, to the current date, but you can change that by just selecting the drop-downs or by looking at the calendar icon, clicking it, and making your selections. To update, you just have to click Go. The next drop-down I want to bring your attention to is the one that says All Classes. So these are some simple filters that you can automatically apply by just selecting them. By default, all classes are shown, but if you wanted to show only classes with 10% or more periods absent, you could click on that and your report would be updated. Another thing to note, any absences that are higher than 10% are going to show in red, like this one here. Since this is a filter, if you wanted to change that, you would need to go through and clear that out. So I could just click in the box and hit the delete key. Now my report's updated. You also have the ability to search by course. So if you wanted to type in, say, algebra, you could, and then that's going to bring up all your algebra courses, and you can go across and see what the absences look like for that course. If you wanted to do search by, say, algebra, and then also adjust how many periods absent, you can add additional filters. So you can say, I want all my algebra courses and I want to see all absences that are greater or equal than 4. Now my results have filtered even further. For both of the reports we're reviewing today, you'll also notice that you have the option to show teachers on the report. This option is selected by default, and you can see that column here. However, if you don't want to see that when you're looking at these results, you can uncheck that box and the report will automatically update. If you need to pull that back in, go ahead and click Show Teachers again. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to the By Course, By Student so that you can see how that looks. Remember, the By Student, By Course, you're going to see all the student information populate first. Let's see how it's going to look when you look at the By Course, By Student. So when I click that tab, it's going to bring me back to the search screen. Remember how earlier I said we could either do a simple search and click Search here, or we could do more search options. So say I only want to see students within the 8th grade. I can make that selection and click search, and my report's already going to be filtered from the start. You'll notice on this report, our course information comes up first, and then the student information is further down in the columns. However, you still have the same option to adjust the report time frame, the periods absent showing, whether to show your teachers on the report or not, and then you have all the same search and filter options. All you have to do is type into the box what you want to see. So we know that we've already filtered this by grade level. I want to see how many students had a certain amount of periods unexcused. So I can click and get the legend for the different options I can choose. I want to see greater than 3. So now I have an update. And as easy as that, I've applied a filter. If I want to clear that out, all I have to do is delete that information, and my report's going to go back to showing me all. I did want to point out, when all classes are selected, you may notice some students that have 0 all the way across. That's because all classes are selected and you haven't told the system which level of absences you'd like to see. So you could say, I only want classes with 1 period absent. If you made that selection, then those students that had 0 listed aren't going to show up on this report. Another quick feature, these 4 arrows. If you click that, it's just going to bring up the report in a bigger screen to make it a little bit easier to read. If you'd like to go back to the regular size, go ahead and click that box again, and it's going to bring you right back to that course. As always, if you wanted to save or download this report, you can go ahead and click the floppy disk to do so. If you needed to look at the attendance of a certain student, you can click on their name and it'll bring up their attendance chart. You can get more information about the student. Once you're done reviewing the attendance chart, go ahead and click the X. Go ahead and click Recover Options, and then it'll bring you right back to your report. And that's a wrap. Thanks again for joining us for another Byte of Tech.